Here's everything that you need to know about Textura, the digital art canvas from Vieunite. And I do mean everything. So what is a digital art canvas? Well, just like any old canvas, it shows art. However, this is connected to a library full of thousands of pieces of incredible art from artists and galleries all over the world, including the Rijksmuseum or National Gallery Scotland. And just like any piece of art would cost you hundreds, maybe thousands of pounds to hang in your own home, this comes with all of that art absolutely included for just £599. The Vieunite Art Library is made up of loads of different kinds of art, including photos, paintings, sculptures, but also videos and digital art as well, the kind of thing that you need a digital art canvas to see. Not only that, but you can also upload your own. Family photos and treasured memories. If your kids come home with new pieces of art for the fridge every day, you can put that on there. If you're an aspiring artist or photographer and you want to showcase your art to the world, that can go on there. Possibilities are endless. So, should we see what's in the box? As soon as you open the box, firstly, you are greeted with a lovely welcome sign, so that's nice. Then there is some padding, and then you'll see the canvas. However, my canvas is already on the wall. Pretending that's there, underneath it, you get this lovely little pack. So inside the pack are these QR codes. So these are also stickers, so they can stick to the back of the canvas so you never lose them. And they will link to helpful videos to help you use and install the canvas. We also have instructions on how to mount the canvas to the wall, and included with that is a wall mounting guide. So you simply stick this to the wall, and it will tell you exactly how to put the canvas on so it is level. Underneath that is this box. So once you open the box, you can see that you have the power cable. The canvas runs off normal AC power, and it also comes with 3 adapters, the US, EU, and UK, all included already. You have the screws and the wall plugs to help secure it to the wall, if that's what you wish to do. And then finally, you have some extra tape to help put that wall mounting guide on the wall, some cloth to clean the canvas, a level to make sure it's level, and as well as that, you also get a pin, just in case you need to reset the canvas. So everything you could possibly need comes included in the box. Now, you don't have to mount it to the wall like I've done. You could put it on a countertop, or maybe purchase an easel, put it in the corner, make it look like a real piece of art. But if you do want to mount it to the wall, this is how you do that.
Take the mounting guide and stick it to the wall with the double-sided tape provided. Use the level to make sure that the guide is level. Use a drill to make 4 holes through the guide, then fill those holes with the wall plugs. On the back of the canvas, you'll find the mount. Give it a twist and pull it off the canvas. The mounting guide that you've secured to the wall not only makes sure that your canvas is level, but will also show you this angle to twist your canvas to remove and reattach the mount. Secure the mount to the wall using the screws and then plug it into the mains using the power cable provided. Then, using the guide, connect your canvas to the mount and give it a twist to lock it into place.
So if you are mounting it to the wall, there is one thing to consider, and that is the wire. There's a few things that you can do. One includes having a hole behind the canvas where you funnel the wire in down towards the plug, or you could just cover it like what I've done with a plant and a picture frame, but you can't even see it. Let's talk a little bit about the canvas. As you can see here, I've gone for a pine wood frame finish, but you don't actually have to. There are 4 color options to choose from. They're all made of real wood, and they're interchangeable, even after purchase. So you could purchase a canvas with a pine wood frame finish, like I have done, and you could buy a separate black frame, and then you can just easily change them out. Or you can buy this one, and then later down the line, you decide, actually, I want a white one. You could buy that separately. Changing out the frames is actually really quick and simple. It takes about 2 seconds. All you have to do is hold on and pull. Literally takes 2 seconds. So they have these little pins in there. They're not magnets. These are actually a little bit more secure than magnets. And then to put it back on, you just line it up, and you push, and there you go. As simple as that. So shall we have a look at the different colour options?
So the first of the 4 frame colours that we offer is black. If you're looking for a more rustic or earthy tone, we also offer a walnut. We have a plain white, this is our newest frame, and then we also offer a pine as well.
So as you can see, changing the frame colour is not the only way you can personalise your canvas. You can also change the orientation. I've made this a landscape now. Let me show you how I did it. So firstly, we want to take off the frame. Right, super simple. But now changing the orientation is also super simple, it just has one extra step. So firstly, you have to find the angle. So this is the angle that you found when you took the mount off of the canvas to secure it to the wall. This is that same angle, and it shouldn't go further than the angle. It locks when it hits the angle. So once you found the angle, you simply just take it off the wall. Right, so shall we put it back on the wall as a portrait? So again, you want to find the specific angle, try to find the mount behind the canvas, and then you just give it a little twist and it is back in place. Should we see what it looks like in white this time? So a little tip is you'll know that the canvas has been secured to the wall correctly if it turns on like it has there. So that means it is getting power. Now, as you can see, it is still oriented as a landscape, and that is really easy to change in the app. You simply just click a button and you'll change the orientation to portrait. Now, when you first turn on the canvas, you'll be greeted with this screen. To turn on the canvas, you simply just plug it in. So when you're on this screen, you can see there's a little QR code. If you scan that, you'll be brought over to the App Store or the Google Play Store where you can download our app. Now, when you're on the app, let me show you. So the app's on the screen now, you can see it. Firstly, you'll see all the art in the library. So this is the news feed where it just has a bunch of different art. Eventually, this will be fine-tuned to you. The more that you use it, the more it will show art that you actually like. Let's turn the canvas on first. In the top right-hand corner, you'll see this little symbol. That is your profile. So firstly, you need to make a profile. It is as simple as just putting in an email address. We don't need any other information. And then you click continue. And then you'll have to go over to your emails and put that code in. And there's the code 566847. And there you go, now you have an account. So how do you connect your canvas? The third tab at the bottom, or I guess fourth if you include that plus, brings you to this page. You click pair your Textura. You won't have any other canvas appear unless obviously your neighbors are also installing their canvas at the exact same time. It is also already pre-ticked. So it's blue, that means it's ticked. If you click it, that's unticked. So let's tick it, click next. Now I'm connecting to this canvas. The first thing it'll ask me to do is to add my Wi-Fi. So let's add the Wi-Fi and it's already there. Start pairing. And then all you have to do is click finish. Now, obviously there is no art on the canvas yet. If I go into the canvas, you can see, there you go, it's empty. So if we go to the home screen and we scroll down, we try and find a piece to add. But although the majority of the art in the library is free, some of them do cost. As you can see here, this piece has a watermark and this one doesn't. So the one with the watermark costs. The art in the library that does cost only costs around £1 to £10, and this goes straight into the artist's pocket. Most artists that we work with upload most of their art as free work, but they do choose to have some premium pieces that you will have to pay for. Let's pick a few pieces. So let's say I want this one here. Now, obviously I can go into the search. There's already pre-made playlists. So let's go into painting. That one's quite a nice one. Let's say we want some moving images. Let's get this one on there. What else do we want? Maybe a winter playlist, something wintry. There's a snowman. And finally, let's get some paper. There you go, so a big collection of stuff. So now if we go into the canvas, we can see if I click the three dots with the three lines, the leftmost tab, that just makes it a list as opposed to doing it like this. I just prefer the list personally. And as you can see, they're on there. So if I click the play button next to the piece of art, it will show. And look how amazing that looks. It really does look texture accurate. I mean, that's why it's called the Textura. And watch how quick this is. If I click that button, it will swap over. So there's the moving piece. If I click this one, it will change over. And then the middle tab, the little arrows, if I click that, that will go onto a playlist. It will alternate throughout the photos, depending on the time that you set, but we'll get to that. And then the little plus is to add more pieces. Let's go through these tabs. So at the top, the schedule, I can select what days this turns on and when it turns off. I don't want it on 24/7. I'll be at work, I'll be asleep. So you can set it for a specific time to turn on. It is just on like any piece of art would be, and you don't even notice that it's a screen. When you click add, you can also have another one at a different time. So you can come on for 1 hour on Monday, 2 hours on Tuesday, and so on. And then to get rid of it, you just delete. And then in the settings, you have all of these options. So firstly, the orientation. If this is on portrait and I turn it to landscape, it will still show the art as portrait. So you just go in here and you change it. And like I said, there's videos and moving art. Some of them have sound, so there's a volume for that. Brightness, so you can make it, this is the max brightness and that is the lowest brightness, and that will just make it look more like a real painting depending on the light level, so you can adjust it. Is image duration, so let's change it to 1 second so you can see it change. So there you go, really quick. Now, if there is a video, it will play the entire video. So let's put that back to a reasonable time. So that's inside the canvas, but let's go through the rest of the app. At the top, you'll see this little button next to your profile picture. That is the daily art discovery. Now, every day this will change to a new piece of art. It will give you a bit of a description about that piece. Now, every piece in the canvas has this description. If you click the I button, you'll get that description. But here, it's just a little bit more front and center because we are trying to show you a new piece of art to expand your knowledge of art every day. Now, this app also comes with a widget. There you can see it's on my screen already. You can actually edit this widget and make it bigger. It will look like that, or you can make it even smaller and it will look like that. Personally, that is my favorite size. And it just makes your home screen look a little bit nicer, and then you can click it, you'll go straight for the daily art discovery. So that's a nice little feature. Then we go through to the search feature. So like I said, we have these different playlists where you can see photography, AI generated art on paper. You can also search for different types of art. So if I type in red, you should get a bunch of red art. If I type in an artist's name, so just off the top of my head, Chameleon is a great artist, and you'll have his page with all of his art on there. Down here, you have different tabs that we've got. So featured artists that we work with very, very closely. They are highlighted in here. The featured galleries, so the galleries that we work with, Historic, National Gallery Scotland, like I said, RBSA, Rijksmuseum. Viewtopia is another project that we are working on, an AI generating app. Maybe we'll make a video on that another time. And then down here, there are just some playlists. So the abstract playlist full of abstract art and so on. Different kinds of playlists, plants, minimalism. So as I said before, you can also upload drone photos and videos. To do that, you simply just click the big button in the middle of the screen, that plus. Once you click it, you can choose photos or videos. Let's say photos. I found this family photo recently, so let's use that one. Now in this area, you can crop and edit the photo so it fits the canvas's screen ratio. So you click edit, and it will give you options at the bottom, 16:9 or 19:6. I don't want it to be a landscape picture, I want it to be a portrait picture. I can move it around, I can zoom in and out. Done. And then I just click upload. So it'll take a second to upload. Once it's uploaded, there you go, confirm. You go over here at the top in personal. This is all the pieces of art that you've uploaded. And there it is. And now I can just add that straight to the canvas. Let's see what it looks like on the canvas. And there it is. Simple as that. Then there's your frames. Now you can actually have more than one frame. Here I've just got one, but if I added another one, it would just show up underneath. You just click add. So you can have 2 or 3 canvases in your home, all connected to the same platform. You can edit all of them just by yourself, but also multiple people can log into your profile and also connect to these playlists in the same way. You can also interact with them at the same time. So I could be connected to this canvas and changing the playlist, while my dad could be downstairs adding movie posters to his playlist, and it could all be on the same profile. If we go over here, these are your personal playlists. If you go into a piece of art, not only is there the add straight to the canvas button in the bottom left, there's the information button, as I said, there's also this heart. So if I click that heart, it will go into my like area. So this is everything that I've liked. It also sorts out your landscapes and your portraits, and then here is where you can make a new playlist. So let's say we made one called portrait paintings. I click done. I can now add to this playlist using the ones that I've uploaded, the ones that I've purchased, or free pieces. And there you go, you just click add, and you can add all the paintings that you want. Right, let's talk content. Now, as you've seen in the library, you have incredible art from artists and galleries all over the world. Of course, you can put on your canvas, but you can also upload drone photos and videos. You can even make playlists with just the art. You can have playlists with just your own content, and you can also have playlists that combine the two. Let's walk through a couple of the best use cases that you might use the canvas for. The one that immediately pops into my mind is family photos and treasured memories. Here are my grandparents, and here is me as a child. So let's say you're giving this as a gift to your grandparents. This is what they're going to be using it for. If you are an aspiring photographer or an artist and you want to put your work out there, this is a great way to show it off. So this is a piece that my brother did. He's not a professional. I think it's quite nice. If you are a professional, this is a great way to get your work out there. Here is a piece that I did during lockdown. When I first made this, I remember thinking, God, it'd be amazing to blow this up on a canvas and put it on my wall. But the amount of money and time and energy that would go into that was just too much for me. It's an incredible feeling to have your work on the wall. If you have any art that you have access to, that can go on the canvas, or if you have magazine covers that you really like, or album covers, that can also go on there. Let's say you're having a movie night. Another thing that you could do is have anime posters or real movie posters. You sit down, watch a movie, put the posters on the wall, you'll feel like you're at a cinema. But let me show you my favorite use case. And for that, we have to turn it to a landscape. So there you go. Here are some ideas that I think are incredible for the canvas. A fish tank. Isn't that super relaxing? Just to have a fish tank on in the background. Another thing, down the same lines, a rainy window. Super relaxing and moody. Obviously it is quite loud. I can turn the volume down or off. One of those super relaxing lo-fi style videos. And then my personal favorite, crackling fire. I don't know if you can hear that. I'll get really close with my mic. Super relaxing. So, what makes Vieunite stand out from all the other digital art canvases out there? Well, the first thing is the special surface treatment that is applied to the product. As we like to say, turns pixels into brushstrokes. No matter how close you get, it really does look like the paint is coming out of the screen. The second thing is the anti-glare finish. So from any angle that you look at it, it is really hard to get a glare off the screen, which makes it look even more like a real life painting. Finally, it's the adjustable backlight, which we went over earlier, where you can make it brighter or dimmer depending on the lightness of the room. That really makes it stand out as a real piece of art as opposed to a screen. So to give you a couple of stats about the canvas, the brightness goes from 50 nits to 250 nits. It takes about 110 to 240 volts of electricity, AC power. So that's just a standard plug. Per day, it actually only uses 28 watts of electricity. That's compared to a TV's 100 watts and a fridge between 100 and 400 watts. That means if you had this on all day, 24/7, no breaks, it would cost you around 13.4p per day. But obviously you're not going to do that. You'll set a schedule so that it turns off when you go to sleep or you're not in the house, or maybe you just won't have it on all the time. But even if you did, 13.4p, that that is it. And that's compared to your fridge, which is about 20 to 80p per day, and you have that on 24/7. Like I said before, it comes with everything you need included in the box, like the wall mount and the cable. No batteries are required, it just does plug into the wall.
The cable, by the way, is 2 meters long.
Let's quickly run through a couple of frequently asked questions that we often get. The first one is it e-paper? And if it isn't e-paper, why? It could just be e-paper, but it's not, it's LCD. Although e-paper is cheaper to run day by day, like I said before, this costs around 13p to run a day. E-paper is close to zero. Although it has that benefit, this one is a lot cheaper to manufacture, and that's why this is the cheapest one that you will find on the market. The second reason is the vibrancy of colors. LCD has access to a wider range of more colors, and each of those colors has more vibrancy. This has the ability to play video with sound. E-paper, you cannot play video at all. And then the final reason is the responsiveness. So if I get the app out quickly, I can very quickly, you ready? Go. See how quick that is. That response time is so fast, whereas e-paper, it takes around 30 seconds to respond. Another question that we get is, how future-proof is this? If Vieunite goes under, is my canvas still going to work? And to answer that, I need to give you a bit of background information about who Vieunite actually are. Vieunite actually belong to a parent company called Allsee. Allsee are 18 years old, and they are one of the pioneering companies in digital signage. That means out there in the real world, any digital screen that you see is probably an Allsee product. Allsee, being a mainly B2B company, wanted to sell this to the B2C market, and therefore wanted to make a completely different company to do so. That's where Vieunite comes from. Now, all these companies that use the B2B product rely on Allsee staying around. And considering that Allsee is 18 years old, a pioneer in the industry, I don't think they're going anywhere, and therefore we're not going anywhere either. The next question is about burning. If I left one image on a screen, how long would it take for it to cause damage to the screen? And to answer that, I have to go back to Allsee being a B2B company installing these screens for massive companies all around the world. These screens often do have the same advert on them 24/7, and they have no issues, and the same commercial grade materials is used in this. Now, obviously every item does have its upper limits. If you had a picture on this canvas for a year and you didn't change it, it probably would cause some damage, but realistically, the purpose of this canvas is to have images that change every now and then. Also, you're going to turn it off. It's not going to stay on 24/7. So even if you had it on one image for 3 days, which is very unlikely, you're still not going to see any damage. And there you go. That's everything that you need to know about Vieunite. So whether you're using it to just fill space in your walls, you want to show off family photos of treasured memories, or if you want to explore new art, find new artists, there is a place for Vieunite in everyone's home. If you have any questions that we haven't answered, please leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.